Hi, this is Matt with AppliancePartsPros.com. In this video, we're going to show you how to troubleshoot the top 5 reasons why your trash compactor ram gets stuck. Stick around to the end of the video for some important safety tips you won't want to miss. But before we begin, we're going to make sure the appliance is unplugged or the circuit breakers are off so there's no chance of electrocution. The first thing to check are the drive gears that go in between the motor and the drive chain. The drive gear kit includes the large and small gears, ram stops, washers, roll pin, and the retaining clip. The drive gears are located on the bottom of the trash compactor underneath the access panel. If the compactor ram gets stuck, it could be that the gears have failed and the ram won't return to the start position. In order to access the part, we're going to pull the drawer out and set it aside. Then you can pull the compactor out and lay it on its side. Once you have it on the side, we'll have to remove the access cover and inspect the gears. If the ram is stuck, it usually means the gears are damaged and missing some teeth. Inspect the gears and replace them if they're damaged or worn. If you need to order a part, simply go to AppliancePartsPros.com and type in your model number. Find your part on the easy-to-read diagrams and match it to the number below. Click on the part if you want to see more pictures of the item or watch its repair video. You can also scroll down to see DIY stories from customers like you, or ask a question in the Q&A section. Once you're ready, you can add the part to your cart. It's that easy. Most orders will arrive within 2 business days. Next, we can check the power nuts. They're what the ram rides up and down on. The power nuts are large plastic nuts with threads on the inside. They ride on the power screw to move the ram. The power nuts on this compactor are mounted on the ram. You can see them behind the access covers on each side. If the power nuts have failed, the compactor ram will be stuck at the position that they failed. In order to get access to the nuts, we'll have to remove the drawer and set it aside. Then pull the compactor out of the cabinet and remove the top access panel. Then tape the switch arm out of the way of the ram. Then lay the compactor on its side and remove the lower access cover. Then turn the large gear counterclockwise to lift the ram to the very top of the power screws. After that, we can put the compactor back on its feet and lift the ram assembly out so we have access to the nuts. Inspect the power nuts for damage. If you find any or the threads are worn out, the nuts will have to be replaced. Next, we can look at the on-off rotary switch. It's what you use to turn the trash compactor on and off. The on-off rotary switch is a small switch that you turn with the removable knob. Some are sold with the knob, and some are sold with just the switch. It's located on the control panel. If the trash compactor ram gets stuck, it could be that the on-off rotary switch has failed during the cycle and power to the motor was cut off. In order to test it, you'll have to open up the console for access. Once you have access to the switch, we can use a multimeter to test for continuity. In order to see if the part can carry an electric current, we have to test it with a multimeter set to continuity. Once you have it set, touch the probes together to make sure it's working. If you look at the wiring diagram for our example, you'll see that there's a wire for the incoming power, which is tan with a red stripe, one for on, which is violet, and one for start, which is yellow. Remove the wires from the terminals, and then we have to do 2 tests. First, we'll attach a probe to the tan wire's incoming power terminal and the other probe to the violet wire's on terminal and turn the switch to the on position. It should have continuity. Then we can test the start side of the switch. Leave the probe on the incoming power terminal and move the other probe to the yellow wire start terminal. Once you have it swapped over, turn the switch to the start position. It should have continuity in the start position also. If the switch fails either test, it's bad and will have to be replaced. Next, we can check the door switch. It's a safety device that tells the trash compactor if the drawer is pushed all the way in. The door switch is a small switch with wire terminals and a rocker arm that gets pressed in when the drawer is closed. It's located in the drawer opening, usually in the back on the right-hand side. If the door switch fails during the cycle, the compactor will think the drawer is open and the ram will be stuck at the point it failed. In order to get to the door switch, you'll have to first take the drawer out and set it aside. The switch is located behind an access cover on the side that needs to be removed. Once you have access to the switch, remove the wires so we can test it for continuity. Attach the test probes to the terminals where the wires were attached. Some compactors use universal switches that have 3 wire terminals on them, so we're going to disregard the extra terminal. Once the probes are hooked up, you should have no continuity. Then reach inside the compactor and press on the rocker arm. When it's pressed in, you should have continuity. If it fails either test, the switch is bad and will have to be replaced. As always guys, hit those like and subscribe buttons now to help support us making more of these videos. The last thing to check is the tilt switch. It's a safety device that shuts off the power if the drawer is forced open during a cycle. The tilt switch is a small switch with a rocker arm and 2 wire terminals. The rocker arm is pressed in when the drawer is closed. The tilt switch is located on the front of the cabinet on the right hand side. If the trash compactor ram is stuck, it could be that the tilt switch has failed and the compactor thinks that the door has been pushed open due to improper loading. In order to test the switch, we'll have to open the drawer. These can be a little tricky to get out. The locking tab is on the right hand side of the switch. You can use a small screwdriver to press on it and then use a putty knife on the other side to help work it out. Once you have it out, remove the wires so we can test it for continuity. Touch a test probe to the terminals. It should have continuity. Then press in the rocker arm. It should not have continuity with the arm pressed in. If it fails either test, it'll have to be replaced. Now here are those safety tips we mentioned earlier. Trash compactors use up to 5,000 pounds of force to compact your trash, so it's important to take precautions to avoid accidents and injuries. Keep an eye on children to make sure they don't play with the compactor. Some units have locks or require keys to operate. Always follow the manufacturer's instructions and never put hazardous items in the bin. These include glass, aerosol cans, and batteries, as well as items that could damage the compactor itself, like hard objects that don't compress. Never use your hands or feet to compact the waste in the unit. It's also advisable not to put any items in the bin that may decompose and create bacteria and odors, since the trash sits there longer between changes. Trash compactors have many safety features that prevent them from working if something fails, so it's important to fix them right away. Following the manufacturer's recommendations will help keep your trash compactor in working order for many years to come. Once you take care of the problem, you can plug the appliance in and take it for a spin. Thanks for joining us for another troubleshooting video brought to you by AppliancePartsPros.com. Remember to hit the like and subscribe buttons now, and if you have any questions or want to share how your repair went, leave a comment down below.